Alright, welcome back everybody, welcome back. And so today I actually wanted to continue with my work today. That means that we're going to be getting this bit right here done, that bit right here done, and that bit right there done, and that, so that we actually have a good, how do you say that? Not transformation, what's the word for it? It overlaps. Nah, not overlapping. When you try to... fucking English. Piece of shit language sometimes. Jesus. Alright, hold up. Let me just look that up. That word. Alright. A word for getting one bit of a picture to look nice in a other. Nope. That is not the word I'm looking for. Yes, I'm looking for this. It's just I needed just a general simple response. Framing, resizing, editing. No, that's not the word I'm looking for. What I'm actually looking for is actually a word that actually just, you know, it helps the other part of the background to merge with the other part of the background while keeping the first picture quite good in contrast, so it actually does look nice while you're looking at it, and then you see past it into the next one, so it actually complements the other one. Basically, that's the word. Complement. I think that's the word I'm looking for. Jeez. But yeah, I did some bits on the background. That was actually the shadow right here. I actually added that in mainly because I actually wanted to add that. I wanted to add that in because of the drawing itself. Of course, it's not foolproof, but it does help a lot with this. I need to make sure that I actually do it correctly. There you go. So, no further ado, let's get started on this and hopefully get this all done by today. So the first thing we need to do is actually add in a little bit of a rock texture that is gonna be not this one, not that one, this one, no, that one, nope. Where is it? Where the hell is it? That bit, yes. We're looking at that bit. And what I'm looking for is this bit right here. So we have this texture right here that we need to make sure that we are actually putting on transparent. And we need to move, again, more stuff underneath it. So this is going to be a thing. I'm going to be putting this on top of it. And I'm going to be putting it on a separate layer, mainly because I don't want to ruin the bit here that I want to create. So I have this building block right here that I want to create. Of course, I need to make sure that I do this on the correct one. So we have this. And I need to make sure that I do this like so. So I can actually get this right. Yes, there you go. So what I'm aiming here to do is actually get myself some nice looking building blocks that, well, not supposed to be that great, but like that. However, as you can see, it is actually quite hard to get this right in one go, mainly because of the building itself being jagged, so I need to make sure that that actually looks nice. So we have rubble here that needs to be created, mainly to get ourselves towards the location I want with this. So I need to get this thing like that, and then I need to get that like that. So now we have that bit right there done. Now we need to make sure that that actually looks nice. That means we need to add some stuff here, some rubble, basically. So that we actually can continue on the thing while not breaking the image itself. Like that. That means I need to add rubble here, like, there you go. Now we added a rubble in there, and that should work. Yes, it does. Good. Now that that is done, now we need to actually add this bit upwards, like so, mainly because I want to actually add some nice looking things to it. The hardest part of this all is always that you need to be focusing on the entire structure rather than just one bit, and that makes things, well, sometimes a little bit of an issue. And I noticed that I did some coloring wrong here. Oh well. That will be fixed later down the line. But first, let's continue onwards. So we have this bit right here that needs to be drawn in. Then we also need to make sure that we have this bit right there as well. So we need to add some more structure parts here and there. Mainly because, well, you know, it's a big giant lump of stone that needs to be created. And those big lump stones need to be created as well, like that. And that should work well. Yep. And then I can actually add that in that side. Yes. Alright. Now we have done that. Now it's time to get the rest up and running. So right here I spotted some issues. Which is this sideline. There we go. And then of course now we need to add some stuff here as well, so I'm going to be doing that. Like that. And that should give us the leeway of this. Alright, now it's time to add in the texture again. So now we're going to be adding in the texture, that is this bit right here. And then we can actually just transform it into one thing. So now let's go for that. Alright, and then we're going to be making sure that this bit as well is like that. And that bit is going to be just sand. It's a little detail work, but it should work well once it's all finished. Alright, now that we've done that bit, now we have actually everything back in, and I can actually now add in the and of course making sure that this is looking nice. That is just a part of the image. Alright. Strange that that actually is a thing. Yes, it is. Alright. Now that we actually completed that bit, now we can actually get these two back together. I mean, this one and that one, because that's the thing, yes. Then we're gonna merge this again with the other one below. Mainly because we can do it. And now we can actually get back to the coloring part. So again, same thing as before, just keep on with the same regularity with it all. So first, color up the things that need to be colored up, and then after that, just focus on the rest. So just focus on this again, and then after that, just focus on it again once fully colored. Then, once that is fully colored, then we need to go back to getting back at it again. So then we can actually start with the background, well, the last bit of the background, and that should be all good. All right. That's the first bit done. Then we now need to get the second color done, and then after that we can actually add in some more stuff as well. There we go. That's the second bit. Now we need to get the third bit, which is then the darker color. And then after that, it should be all fine. Alright, then, now I need to get some more stuff in, because I realized I made a mistake. Need to fix that. So let's do that. Oh, that's on a different layer. Alright. Just give me a second. Let's fix this up. It always happens, you know, when you try to do something and then you realize that you're missing certain bits. Like that bit. I didn't realize that I missed that. Luckily I can actually just fix this quite easily. It's just spotting in all the bits have been left behind. Alright, and then we're gonna go back on this again. Yes. Alright, then we'll go here again. No, that way. And then we're going to be adding in the color. Alright, and then of course adding this bit right there, that bit right there. And then of course adding in the things that I need to do, which is the line work. And then that should give me what I want. It is quite hard to do always, but hey, you know, it is something. Alright, now we're gonna go back and fixing that sand bit, because, well, you know, we need to do it anyway, so why not? Just getting that bit right here. Oh boy. Let's not do that on that side, let's do it on this one. First add in the light one, then add in the color one, and then add in the darker color, and then add in the texture if necessary. I don't think I need to, but just in case. And then of course adding in then add in the effect. So that is gonna be a spray, and that needs to be then this one. And very sizable. Alright, there you go. Now we're gonna go back at fixing the plates, the pallets. That is not that one. Oh, I did it all in one go. Jesus. I should not do that on a fucking brush that absolutely is transparent. That's a bad idea. And I spotted a mistake on that side. Need to fix that. Alright. That is that one, that is that one, and why is that not colored up? Is that because of lighting? No. That is an issue of the front line? Yes, the front one. Ugh. Well, time to fix that by doing this. Ah, Jesus. Great. At least it's good. At least it's good weather tonight. Fucking hell. Oh well, it happens sometimes. All right, there you go. Now that thing is fixed. Now let's continue where I left off with this whole debacle, which is this bit, and getting the thing here done by making this like that. And then of course adding in a darker color for the bottom side of the wood. And then that should be good. It means that we're still missing some bits here and there that needs to be fixed, but that should keep me from absolutely. Alright, and then that. Then we're gonna pick that one up, fixing this bit up. There you go. All right, where's the line work on this on these things? So, I spotted here as well, mistake. Oh well. That is this one, right? Yeah, that one. All right, fine. We're gonna be fixing that up because we need to do that anyway. Then we're going to be adding in that side as well to fix this bit up. So again, clunky rocks should survive. Yeah, there you go. And then of course adding in some texture on it as well. Then we're going to be going for the coloring part, and that needs to be here done. So let's grab the colors again. First add in the darker colors so I can see what I'm coloring. Then add in the lighter color, and then add in the variety. Well, it doesn't need to, because, well, technically it's on the sideline, but it should be fine like that. A little bit more lighter, please. There you go. Yes. Alright, now I have done that, now I can continue back at this again. And then that should be fine, I hope. It's not gonna be great, but it is gonna be good enough. That is this one, that means this is the bit, yeah, that's the bit, alright. So time to get the nice looking metal bars there, and then that should be heading towards where I want to be with this. The main thing with this always is that you need to be very cautious upon these things, because, well, you know, the bigger you draw, the more errors you can make. Like right now, we just have this. That is bad. Time to fix it up and make it look a lot more metal-like. And of course add in even a lighter effect. That is technically the effect I need to go for, but I need to have a little more or less darkened background on these metal bars. Yeah, there you go. So now we have done that. We now need to get just the background part done, and then it should be fine. Okay, that is a good sign. It means that I have done now most of the things already. Alright, now we're going to leave this behind, and now we're going to be continuing where I left off. So, that means that we now need to design ourselves a background. Of course, this background is going to be extending from that side, from one side to the other, but not now. Right now we're just going to be focusing on the left side, and then we fill it up later down the line. Oh boy. I need to do this. This is gonna be again a very big one. Yes, like that. That should work. And then of course here we have as well go. And that should give me what I want here. Yes. And then of course I can then add in the building in the background, but I don't need to. I can get in the construction site on this side, so I can actually don't have to use this because I already have a perspective that actually goes like that goes actually like that. That actually goes like this. So yeah, that's good. That means I don't have to worry about that part. I just have to be worried about the part where I need to be at. So time to get this bit up and running. So if I'm gonna go for that, that means I need to get this bit not drawn in like that. And then this bit is gonna be then the big giant building. Most likely, yes. Alright, time to get these things done properly. Come on. There you go. And that should leave me to fix that bit up. Bloody hell. Yeah. Drawing so tiny. Alright, so now we have that done. And now we can actually get that big giant building in the front. So this is going to be the background. Then we're going to be fixing up the background by adding in the foreground as well. Alright, time to get this thing colored up a bit. And then after that, we're going to be moving on to getting the foreground more done, most likely. And then the fun thing is, because this is the background, I need to make sure that this is in comparison behind the last one. So behind this one is that one. And then once we add in the big giant building, I'll show you what I mean. We can then just add in the big giant building, like so. And ta-da! We have then ourselves a building out of nowhere, which we can then create. And then we don't have to worry about the background anymore. Of course, this building needs to be collapsed and a little bit broken because, well, you know, it has been hit by a big giant meteor. So, well, not technically a big giant meteor, but the impact was big. That's the whole joke. Alright, no further ado, let's continue. And that means that we need to get this bit right here, not but this bit right here, colored up. So, I'm going to be making this a little bit more red because I actually like to use that a bit more. There you go. And then I can actually add in like a darker color for the effects as well. Although I don't know what I'm going to be doing with this building, but I'm sure I'm going to be able to get this right. Buildings is not my forte, not gonna lie, but hey, it is something. Alright, now time to get this coloring up. The first bit I need to do is actually green, mainly because I have green in the back and the foreground already, and I need to get that back in to the drawing. And that means I need to do this on a different layer, and I need to save this. Yes, alright, it's saved. Just in case, If something goes bad, I need to make sure that it's saved. Alright, that's the first bit of the coloring done. I need to cut down the aggressive horizon so that I can actually see which kind of colors I left behind. Now we're going to be adding a lighter color on top. And that will give us the effect that I need for the horizon. Yes. Alright. Now it's time to get the big giant mountain tops. That means I need to just keep on using this color right here. And reuse that. Of course, this color doesn't work that much. So I'm going to be fixing it up a little bit. Does that color work? No. But if I add it like this, would that work? Probably yes, if I'm just doing it right. That means I need to get this bit to this size. So I need a gray scaling, but not too aggressive. Got it. That means I need to get this color. Yes, there you go. I could technically use the one that actually already have been using for a long time. Yes, let's do that. That's a smart move. Alright, open, and then we're gonna go to the me folder for this. Yes, to the me folder. Because I believe it's in that one and not in the summer one, so that is in the me one. Me. And then the tropical, and then the non-topical one. Because I need that color right there. Yes. Alright. Then we're going to be removing this one so that it doesn't crash. And then we can actually see like what kind of color we have. It's pretty good. Pretty close. Pretty close. Alright. So now we have the first one. And we're going to be coloring up the second one. And then the third one. And then we should be fine-ish, honestly. Not going to lie, actually. I'm pretty happy with the result here. After all, we're just busy drawing the background of the background of the background. However, this background is quite nice to have because it actually does contain, you know, the things that I want to create. Also, it does give you kind of a perspective, which is quite nice. It's of course not flawless, but it does make you look at everything, which is always a great thing to have, especially with these things. Because the more you look at things, the better it gets. That's always the thing with drawings. Most likely, you know, when you have a drawing, you need to make sure that the eye is entertained. Otherwise, you will have like a drawing that absolutely doesn't appeal to no one. Which is bad, to be honest. If you have like a drawing that is just, you know, a simple line and then be like, boop, there you go, you know. It is missing something. So if you have a head on it, well, yeah, now you can see the head. And then the eye is like, yes, it's a head. Wow. And then it looks like the arms, and the arms are a little bit longer than before. Fascinating. And that's how the eye is always very easy to predict on like what you're looking at. Of course, you know, it's still that you need to do it, but in the end, it's always fun to do. Just making, you know, tiny little things happening here and there. And of course, the more stuff you add, the more difficult it will become to make it all stand out. That's why you have focus points. To make focus points happening, that's always the hardest choice, but it is quite decently possible to do it quite easily. It's just that you need to be very consistent upon like what you're gonna be using for it. Like I have this beautiful mountain here, and I want to make sure that this mountain is visible. That means I need to get this bit right here done, that bit right here done, that bit. Like that. That means I now have this, and then after that I can actually add in some nice looking water. Because it was missing something here. And then, of course, we're going to be adding in the line work for it. Because that mountaintop is a little bit, you know, dicey to look at. But now we have that water line that actually indicates, and then we can actually exactly see on that point. So technically we now have created a focus point that actually creates this bit right here. Because it stands out, it's blue and not gray or anything like that, and therefore, you know, you look at it and then you see the things and you see that thing right there. So technically this is also a focus point right there. That's the main goal. All right, now that we have done that part, now we need to get the, well, the clouds up and running. So time to get this bit up as well. So first get the mountaintops here done, and then we can actually start with the buildings. So we have multiple buildings here. I think I will go for a nice grayscaling on building parts. I could also just, you know, make it happen in like, alright, these buildings are a little bit more different on the coloring, like. So let's see, what kind of color do I want to go for? I could technically go for the aggressive purple. That always works. So you have like this aggressive purple on these buildings. But that doesn't make any sense. I noticed though that they are absolutely terribly drawn. So time to fix that. Their line work is not hard cast, which is bad. It means that the line work of them will fade the moment you are coloring over it, which is bad. That's why you always need to double check if you didn't press hard enough. Luckily, now these things are quite easy to do. Alright, now we're going to be going, let's see, does this one have like multiple stories? Yes, it does. Alright, now we're going to go here and we're going to be adding in the color for it. So let's see, what kind of color do I want to go for on buildings? Maybe lighter than normal. I could technically go for the same color as this building, but then again, it's a very bland color. So now we have that. Alright, now we need to get ourselves a little bit more interesting in this. So let's do that. Now we have that color, and now we're going to go and add in the darker color. And then of course adding in the color light on these things. Now we have done that. Now we can actually add in a darker color for these things. So I'm going to be creating a little bit more darker color on this. Mainly because I do not like it when they are light up like that. So this is a partially created one. That. No, I need to change up the color scheme. Fuck. That is a pain to do, but that won't work. Alright. So yes, I need to add something like this then to it. Right, I do have the one that I actually need for this. But let's see if I can get it like this then. No. I need to make sure that this is grayscaled. How about that? No, and that actually could work, but I need to figure out like what I want to add here on building size. Let's see. So that would actually work, but I need to get something like this maybe done. Something like this could actually work, right? It's not grayish. Well, it is grayish, but blue. And then add in a lighter color. And then add a darker color to it. No, that doesn't work. Alright, so we get this color. And then add in the darker color. Then we're adding lighter color to this. Alright, if I want to do this, I need to add in. Then these things are painted houses. That means I need to make sure that I have a bucket of paint in the area, so that we actually know that the bucket of painted houses. So technically this is going to be a painted house that is halfly done, so therefore I need to add in paint to the building itself. Alright, note to self, I need to add that in there, and then we actually have what I want. Well, technically it's a construction site, so technically it doesn't matter that much. I did use them purple here to represent like a bit of a vision view. And that looks good. Neat. Alright. How much time do I have today? Because I feel like my head is a little bit getting heavy from all this detail work. 45 minutes. 45 minutes. Alright, let's see if I can actually see if I can get this right. So if I want to go and get this done, so I'm going to be just doing some little bit of a silly work here. And I would say like I'm going to draw it in red. Fuck it. So if I draw it in red, and I draw this big building, right? I have this big building over here, big building 1, 2, 7 up. So this building is halfly done. Broken, broken, broken. And then of course this needs to be upsized. And that means I need to get this thing like that way. So we have this bit upsized, this bit upsized, that bit upsized, and then this bit is fully broken down. Like that. And then I have the paint that I have with these buildings. So these paints, there you go, paint. And the paint is dripped all over it. Well, no. I think actually having the paint coming from the top part and having the stone slabs on it. So I have technically have this bit like that. I have it like this, like so. So it's like it was getting ready for the paint job. So technically then, you know, boop, 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 boop. Stone slabs everywhere. Stone slabs. So it was ready to get painted. And then it has the green bolt on it that actually collapsed on it. So technically, yes, we have this color as the baseline color for it. So now we have this baseline color and we have it actually colored up basically. However, the building got collapsed because, well, you know, a big giant impact on it didn't help pretty much. So now we have that big giant rhino coming in hot, and we have the purple again recognizable in the background. We have purple recognizable in the buildings, and we have the purple as the rhino itself. Therefore, we have it on this bit. So let me just grab red again. So we have it on the rhino. We have it on the hair here. We have it on the building, and we have it on the building on the bottom side. And by making this look like it was colored up, or basically it was getting ready for a paint job, and then, you know, suddenly collapsing because of a big giant impact, that will make the thing a lot more believable to look at, and it actually does. I don't have to then make a bucket, basically. I could add a bucket here and there, you know, add a bucket inside of the rubble with all of the collapsed structure, but basically like that. All right, I think I have what I want, and yeah, this was fun for today. I hope you'll enjoy it for now, and thanks for watching, and I will see you next time. Until then, and yeah, until then, I want to wish you a lovely day, and yeah, I made a lot of progress today. I'm very happy upon it. I actually got the whole left side fully done, finally. Alright, bye guys!